I'm so excited to welcome you all to Happy Go Lucky at Heart podcast. I have a mission to support others with undiagnosed autism to get a diagnosis because my mum fought a long battle. But please don't go, because this podcast is for absolutely everybody, especially mental health too. And I mean everybody, because I will share with you lots of unique yet personal stories from all age groups. So please meet your host, Vicky Kidson, otherwise known as me. Buckle up, because it's going to be a long mission. So enjoy and live life to the full. And welcome to the next episode, where I interview Maddy from Designs in Mind, who has ME, otherwise known as chronic fatigue syndrome, and we get talking about what it's like to live with a chronic illness. I hope you enjoy this episode. Please give us some love. Here's Maddy. I'm so excited to welcome you all to Happy Go Lucky at Heart podcast. I have a mission to support others with undiagnosed autism to get a diagnosis because my mum fought a long battle. But please don't go, because this podcast is for absolutely everybody, especially mental health too. And I mean everybody, because I will share with you lots of unique yet personal stories from all age groups. So please meet your host, Vicky Kidson, otherwise known as me. Buckle up, because it's going to be a long mission. So enjoy and live life to the full. Hi.
Hello.
How have you been?
Up and down. It depends. Every day is different. You can't really plan anything too, exciting or impulsive. I can't be impulsive and say, right, in the morning, let's go here. If I've already done something that week, it's, up and down.
Is it okay to ask you about your illness?
Yeah, definitely.
When did it start? How long has it been going?
So I started feeling ill around January 2014. I'd had 2 viruses within probably a month of each other, one in December, early December, and then I'd just gotten over that one, and then the beginning of January I had another one, and that's what started off the ME. And then it took about 18 months to get a diagnosis.
Oh God.
Yeah, because there isn't a test. They can't test you and say, yeah, you have ME. It took about 18 months to get a diagnosis because there's no test for ME. You can't just go in and have a test and then them say, right, this is what you've got. They have to test you for everything else, to rule everything else out. Then finally they say yes or no, but it was yes in my case. That was the 1st of September 2015. I was diagnosed with ME.
Yeah, I've been waiting over a year for my epilepsy appointment, and I had it this week.
How did it go?
Really good. She's going to
good.
Another MRI scan and sleep-deprived EEG.
Oh, well, that doesn't sound like much fun, but
no, it's not fun. You have to stay up all night. And then they do it in the morning. Yeah.
Oh no. Well, if it gets a diagnosis, it's worth it.
Yeah. What is it like living with your illness?
It's hard. My whole life has changed. It's very frustrating at times. It's not just my life, like my husband's life, my children's life. It's totally, totally different to what it was. We had children young with the idea that when they were older, we could go off and just do what we wanted at any time. And now we can't do that because everything has to be planned, and I have to rest to go anywhere and then plan in rest when I get back. So yeah, it's hard, but I'm alive and I'm still doing things. So yeah.
Yeah, when I got diagnosed, they said I was immature and putting it down to my personality and saying it was my mental health.
No, that's not good, is it?
No, not good. And then I was homeschooled to help myself recover as well, because I struggle getting up in the morning to go to school. So my mum educated me.
Yeah, I totally get that. My youngest daughter is the same, and we homeschooled her too. Yeah, so I totally get that.
Is there anything else that could be contributing to your symptoms?
Well, I also, since being diagnosed with ME, I also have fibromyalgia, which is a newish thing within the past 3 years. So ME, the simple explanation is you're very tired and you have a little bit of pain. And fibromyalgia is you have a lot of pain and you're a little bit tired. So I've got both colliding. So the pain is a new thing that I'm trying to get used to. I also have endometriosis.
What's that?
That's to do with your reproductive system, and it's very, very painful, and it usually occurs around the time of your period. So period pains are horrendous. I have had treatment for that, so that's not as bad as it was when I was first diagnosed. And various other things that go along with ME, such as restless leg syndrome. I had to go into hospital overnight and have a study done. Yeah, that was diagnosed then. Costochondritis, which affects the rib cage, which means I can't wear an underwired bra because that irritates it, and then I get pain in my ribs. If I don't know, reach too much or do too much physical activity that involves the top half of my body, then that can aggravate it and I get really bad pain in my ribs then. So yeah, there's a lot of other things going on. But yeah, the ME is the underlying.
That sounds awful, but you remain so positive about it.
Yeah, I think you've got to. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are days where I could get in bed and stay in bed and, stay there for the rest of my life because it is hard. But that's the alternative. You've got to be positive. You've got to still have a life, and I still have children and a family, although they don't need much looking after now, so that's good. They look after me. But yeah, I think the same as you've got to stay positive, haven't you?
Yeah, it can happen at any age as well.
Yeah.
What would be helpful for me to know about and to learn about your illness?
I think, like on a Thursday when you see me at Designs in Mind and I've got my makeup on and I'm, quite dressed up and I'm okay, even at those times, I'm still exhausted and I'm still in pain. It's just that one day that I can go out and be around people, because the social aspect of ME, you don't see many people. You have to cancel plans with friends. On those days, people think, oh, well, she's better. She looks better. She must be okay. But they don't see when I come home and I get my pajamas on straight away and get in bed. And then I'm in bed for 2, sometimes 3 days, recovering from the social aspect and the energy loss and everything.
Oh, thanks for letting me know. What do most people not know or get wrong about your illness?
I think mainly people think that you just feel tired. It's because it's also called chronic fatigue, which people with ME don't really like because it makes it sound like you're just tired all the time. And you're not. You have a million and one other things going on, such as even when I'm tired, I can't sleep a lot of the time. My brain just won't shut off and allow me to sleep. You've got feeling dizzy, memory loss and brain fog a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So I can be talking and totally forget what I'm talking about. Hopefully I won't do that now. Pain, headaches, like...
You're doing really well. You're doing
Yeah.
really hard to be an interviewee. I mean, it's hard for me to ask the questions sometimes.
I bet, yeah. Yeah, there's lots of other things. I wish people would know that it's not just, oh, well, you feel tired, go and have a sleep and then you'll be better, because the main symptom is like unrefreshed sleep. I could sleep for a week, but I'd still be tired. It's not like if a well person had a busy week and they went to bed for an hour and it was okay then. It's not like that.
So does it affect your walking?
Yes, yeah. I've recently got a wheelchair, and that it took a long time to come to terms with the fact that I needed one. It was a hard decision, lots of tears and lots of frustration. Since having it, it has been amazing. It was the best decision that we've ever made, because now I've had it about 2 months, maybe a little bit longer, and I hadn't walked. So from my house to the park, it's probably 8-minute walk there and an 8-minute walk back and then round the park. Even that was too much for me at times. So now on a day where I feel okay, I can put my coat on and then my husband can push me around the park in the wheelchair just to get some fresh air. So it's
more independence as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
If you Google the word chronic, it says there's no cure. Do you agree with Google?
Yes, yeah, definitely. I think if there was more research into ME, then they could possibly find a cure or at least treatment, because there's no treatment at all. But because it's always been, oh, well, it's nothing. It's, you know, a long time it was connected to your mind. So you were thinking that you were ill rather than actually being ill. And it's only recently that they've accepted that it's a physical illness, not a mental illness.
Yeah, a lot of people try yoga and diet to try and help, I expect. Have you tried that, or doesn't work?
In the beginning, I tried everything, but nothing worked. I mean, you can do things that help. And before the fibromyalgia, yoga did help, but now I'm in so much pain. Yeah. That's all I can think about while I'm doing it. So it doesn't help anymore. I've tried all sorts of different diets at the beginning, but nothing really.
Nothing works.
It's all about pacing yourself, and you have to learn how to pace yourself. So say if I did a little bit of housework for half an hour, then I should then rest for probably an hour and a half to try and pace myself. It's a much slower way of life.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if, as you heard my story on my podcast about Hertfordshire Social Services, my chronic fatigue was caused by hormonal deficiencies.
Yeah.
So she took me abroad for treatment, and that didn't turn out to plan.
But is that gone now? Is that?
No, I still struggle with my hormones, but it didn't go to plan because my mum got arrested. And
yeah.
Are you self-aware of your own issues and challenges? So saying that you pace yourself.
Yeah, I think because I know my body so well, if there's the slightest change, symptoms come and go. So any little thing, I think, oh, well, that's different, or I've had that before, or I haven't had that before. Is that, you know, a normal illness? Is it a cold? Is it something else? Yeah, you're always aware of what's going on with your body. And I think you know your body more than anybody else. I think that applies to everybody, but it's not until you have an illness that you have to monitor that you become self-aware of what's going on.
Yeah, like I got a smartwatch and it meant to detect seizures, but it tells me, it says a siren every 5 minutes. So I've switched that off.
Yeah, I've got a smartwatch too, just to track how many steps I do. And I know roughly I can do about 2,000 steps and then I'm totally exhausted.
Yeah. What are your patterns like? Do you treat others more kindly than yourself?
I used to. I mean, yes, I treat people kindly, but I used to, put other people first. Yeah. But as the time's gone on, I've had to put myself first, and I've had to say no to a lot of things and do the things that I could do, you know, before the ME. where I would always put everybody else first and do anything for anybody. Now I have to say no a lot, which is hard, but it does get, the more you say it, the easier it gets.
Yeah. Yeah. I always put other people's feelings before my own.
Yeah, and I mean, sometimes you have to,
Yeah.
but then other times you have to think, well, actually, how is this making me feel? And how much energy is this going to take if I do the thing? So sometimes you have to put yourself first.
How does it affect intimacy and sex?
It affects it a lot. And obviously, the tiredness affects everything, every part of my life. I think you have to find other ways of being intimate. So cuddling, watching a film. It's you just have to find other ways to do everything.
Do you take time away from work?
Well, I'm lucky and I only work 6 hours a week, and I work most of that from home. So I am lucky. I actually, before I got this job, I never thought I would work again with having ME, because you don't know what days you're going to be tired, and obviously doing a job every day. I mean, there are people with ME that work, because there's varying degrees. There's mild, moderate and severe. So somebody with moderate ME that could still work, that, you know, there are people. But so I'm lucky, and yeah, I work from home. So most of the time I work from bed.
Was there support at work? Is there support at work?
Yeah, definitely. I have regular check-ins, and I set my own work timetable, so that is really helpful. And if there's things that, you know, there's too many things, you know, you have to say, actually, I can't do that.
Did you get bullied at work? Have you got bullied?
No, definitely not. Other people, I don't know, it must be hard, but where I work, it's very nurturing.
Oh, that's good. What's needed to be successful at work?
Oh, I don't know. I actually don't want to be successful. I just want to be okay. Yeah. I think as long as you've got an understanding boss who, you know, works with you, then that's all you need, really.
What can you expect from treatment?
Nothing. There is no treatment at all. There are things that they can give you to try. They might make you feel a little bit better, but there is no specific treatment for ME. I'm currently on tablets for pain, which I had when I first started, when I was first diagnosed, but they are treatments for epilepsy. So it's not specifically for ME. So there isn't any treatment at all.
Are there alternatives to treatment?
Such as I have done swimming, you know, like we said before, yoga. You could try reflexology, Reiki, you know, different things like that. But really, I don't think anything will get rid of it. It might help in varying degrees.
How can someone support you?
I think the best form of support, and the best thing that anybody could ever say to me, is, I've researched your illness. I know about your illness. I think that would be the best form of support, so that they understand that you can't always go out, or they can't always come round.
There's always going to be a lack of awareness about any illness, but
definitely
trying to break that with my podcast in particular.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and the same with you. I presume, you know, if somebody said to you, well, I've done a bit of research, and
yeah, definitely it helps. And
or just ask questions. Ask
lots of questions. Like, a lot of people think you swallow your tongue during a seizure. That's right. And then people put stuff in their mouths, and then a lot of seizures aren't medical emergencies, so you don't have to call an ambulance. but you have to. It's best if you stay with me and reassure me with reassuring phrases.
Yeah. See, it is all about awareness, isn't it? And you're doing
Yeah.
a great job raising awareness with your podcast, definitely.
To finish off, some silly questions: beach or mountains, and why?
Beach, definitely beach. I am a huge sea lover. I love the
Yeah.
sea and the sand, and every time I go, I have to take my shoes and socks off and get my feet in the sand and in the sea.
What's your favorite beach you've been to?
That's hard, really hard. Probably the one in Spain because it's warm.
Yeah. I've been to various beaches in the Caribbean, and I've been to Thailand as well.
Oh,
They
nice.
are really nice. But I also like mountains as well because I like being up high.
Oh no, I see. I can leave the mountains. I don't mind looking at them from a distance, but definitely beach. And in this country, we have amazing beaches, and I think the sea is so different because it's wild here.
I prefer the West Coast to the East Coast because I find the East Coast quite windy. Are you an early morning lark or night owl?
Neither. And listening to your mum, she said
Yeah.
the same. She doesn't like early mornings, and
I came up with something like a mid-hair or something like that.
yes, yeah, that's definitely me. About this time in the morning is
Yeah.
probably my peak time, and then it goes downhill. But it does take me a while to come round in the morning, and I don't like getting up early at all.
Ma might love it or hate it.
Love it.
Yeah, I love it. I'm glad we agree on something.
Definitely. Yeah, love it. In fact, I had it on my toast yesterday morning.
Crunchy or smooth peanut butter?
Crunchy,
Yeah.
but not on anything like toast. I like it in smoothies.
Oh yeah, smoothies. I put like peanut butter in my smoothie, and then I put like a bit of nutmeg, bit of allspice and cinnamon.
Oh, I'm not into cinnamon and things like autumn spices. I don't like that, but
I love
I
spice.
do like banana and peanut butter smoothie.
Yeah,
That is
they're
very
really
nice.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for being on my podcast. I hope you enjoyed it.
That was brilliant. Yeah, thank you.
It was lovely to interview you and talk to you about ME and chronic fatigue syndrome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Bye.
Bye.
Yet another wonderful interview. Much obliged for you to stay and listen to Happy Go Lucky at Heart podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please keep on boasting about it to your friends and family. And if you have any spare time, please help an independent podcaster get known. So please leave a 5-star review on whichever podcast platform you listen on, and click the link in the show notes for many more ways to connect with me. Bye! Mwah!